just taking a look behind us here, mostly green, but we're starting to see quite a bit of negativity. We were only up around 0.25% in today's session, and as you can see, it's the resources that have really taken the big knock today. Lonmin down to 0.8%, ARM shedding 2.6%, Amplat's also down 1.8%.
Difficult markets. I mean,
yes.
We've seen quite a rally in the last couple of days. I mean, we saw a massive decline throughout August and it happened very, very quickly. Now, all of a sudden, before you close your eyes, it's back up again. So today was an interesting one. We had fair volume going through the market. Yep. We started off fairly negative and trickled up just a little bit and went positive. And then with the manufacturing data out of America, that really shot us up for a very brief period of time. But it's difficult. You're sitting there wondering, should I pile in now that it's going up, or should I start selling off now that the prices have risen slightly? It's not an easy game. I just don't think there's enough information right now on the table to say, look, it's all over now. We've seen the worst. We're going to see a massive increase. I think the markets have gone up a little bit too quickly, in my opinion. I know we just held 31,000 points, but it's still difficult. So I don't really have all the answers today, unfortunately.
You usually have all the answers.
I usually do. But
okay, perhaps you have an answer for Massmart. Massmart up 2.6%.
Yes, I did notice
163 Rand a share. You want to be holding at this point.
Well, look, what's interesting about Massmart is it's not cheap. I think that's one thing you and I can definitely agree upon. But if you have a look at who holds the stock now, it's about 80% foreign held. And when a stock is 80% foreign held, foreigners have a different way of looking at share prices. They don't really worry about where the share is. They just want to get in or they just want to get out. So we've seen some very aggressive buying from a foreign perspective there on Massmart. We've actually got a Walmart team in South Africa at the moment that's working with Massmart's management, and I think we're going to see quite a lot of interesting things coming out of Massmart going forward. Not a cheap stock, but if you're wanting to get into the retail sector in South Africa, you could argue it's still a buy.
187 for Exaro today.
It came down a little bit. Is that the close?
Yeah, okay. No, in fact 193 actually. That
all right, so
it came through 2.6% higher.
That's an all-time high now for Exaro. Also looking good.
Do you hold Exaro?
Yeah, it's one of our favorite stocks. I'm smiling from ear to ear. I love Exaro and I like Kumba, and I've been harping on about those stocks for ages now, and it's really good to see how well they are continuing to perform. And I just think it's a testament to that management team. It's absolutely fantastic results that came out. I think great upside potential still from current levels. So I would be holding. I'm not too sure if I would be buying though at 193, but for the long term, I still think there's more upside potential. So no specific reason why today, but I still think some solid results that came out a couple of weeks ago.
African Rainbow Minerals, which was up significantly, of course, yesterday, it's down 2.6%. It's interesting because we've got some resource companies really doing well today, and then you've got others that have really come under pressure.
It's like a tale of two cities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So what exactly is going on here? I mean, we had manufacturing activity out of China today, PMI in South Africa. We've got this whole rhetoric coming through on manufacturing activity and who's actually going to be pulling us out of the slump. Again, you said it's really difficult to see what is going to happen next. Yeah. So why are the industrial metals, you know, Xaros and Kumba's doing quite well today, and then you've got ARM, which is more diversified, slumping in today's session?
Well, I mean, you had a lot of the diversifieds. I think Anglo and Billiton also struggling to get their head above water today. African Rainbow Minerals had, in my opinion, very, very good results that came out yesterday. I think there was an initial spike, but the feeling that you got going to the presentation is that a lot of people believe it's a very soft balance sheet at the moment. They could do a lot more. Listening to what management had to say about the future, they're incredibly positive. But on the other side of the coin, they're also a little bit cautious as well. So it's really not a complete yes or no from the management on how they see the future. So I think that's also reflected in the share price. Whereas Kumba and Exaro seem to be on their completely other mission. And I think that comes through in the absolute solid results, the solid balance sheets, and what's very important, the very high dividend yield as well out of Kumba and Exaro, keeping those shares firmly above water. Whereas African Rainbow Minerals, I think, still disappointed on the dividend side, even though their dividend per share was up tremendously. So it's difficult. It's always, you know, why we're a few up and why we're a few down. There's not necessarily a specific reason on every single day. It's just that sometimes you get that general trend that goes through on the market.
Absolutely. Looking at Discovery, also a stock that is very much under the spotlight today. We saw results coming through. Normalized headline earnings per share up 31%, operating profit up 31% as well. Very strong numbers that we saw coming through today. How much more growth can we expect?
Well, that's also, I mean, it's a good point. It's not just Discovery with good results. I mean, we've had the retailers looking incredibly strong, you know, Massmart with good results, Woolies with good results, Mr. Price with good results. So I just think, generally speaking, the economy out there might be a little bit dodgy. The numbers coming out might be a little bit unsure of themselves, but company specifics, I think, are still looking incredibly strong. And that's that whole massive disconnect that you have to fight with, where you've got company results looking good, but economy is not looking so good. Do I still put my money in the market?